My name is Eben Sadie. I'm living out here in the Swartland. We farm out here, and I have an incredible privilege to currently lead up an amazing team of people. We're 23 people that work on 24 hectares out here, and we're currently producing around 65,000 bottles. So it's not a big deal from a production aspect, but you know, it's a very hands-on, very focused project. You know, our whole drive has been to produce wines that's honest above anything else. Like, I will any day trade the notion of perfection for honesty, because I think the wine must be the most honest reflection of the site. Yeah, the first focus is to produce a wine that's the best possible ambassador of the Swartland. So it must be the truest in every form. And if you want to be ambassador of a place, you need to include all aspects of the place. So if you then make this wine and it's only got Shiraz, it's not an ambassador. Okay. Then it's a Shiraz in the Swartland. Mm-hmm. To be an ambassador, it must include all the grapes of the Swartland. When I was living in Spain, and I lived in Spain for 10 years, and I was studying Spanish at the time, and I used to go twice a week down to the library in Tarragona to read and learn about Spanish. And the librarian, she said to me, "Eben, you're reading all these things, but why don't you read work that's not anything but related to your trade?" So she gave me these old treatises that was written in 200 after Christ. And so the first one she gave me was basically, so Lunius Moderatus Columella was born in Cadiz in Spain, and he ran an agronomical institute in Sevilla. And at that time when Rome conquered Spain, they discovered this agronomical institute that was greater than the one in Rome at that time. And the Romans, when they found things that was greater than Rome, it became Roman. So he was taken back to Rome, and there he wrote the De La Rue Rustica, which is this essential work that I then started studying. And it was for me bewildering, because he already in 200 after Christ wrote things that we should be doing, and people still struggle to do it now. A great overview of what things need to be. I was so sick and tired at that stage of everybody writing about cool sea breezes on their back labels and just all this poetic nonsense that I thought, I'm going to write the label in Latin that nobody can read, and then they have to trust the content. Of all the young guys in the country, and there's very many great ones of them, Paul is a little bit different in that he's very quiet, he's very dedicated. He's super trustworthy, he's super diligent, he's super accurate. You know, he's worked with me now for 8 years, so either I trust him or I don't. It was clear he couldn't remain the assistant winemaker here forever, so I mean, he's now become the head winemaker, and his responsibilities is growing, and his paycheck will grow, and his career will grow, and that's how it's going to be. He fulfills everything. I mean, I'm not going to walk away from 20 years of work if I don't. It's all in good standing. When people ask me how serious do I view viticulture, I view it serious enough to resign from my job. Columella and Palladius it's our two signature wines. To define them well, they are, being signature wines, they should be the best possible representations of the Swartland, our history and our future. Is it better to make a worse Swartland wine to hang on to something that was living in the past? Or is it better to embrace the future and make the true Swartland wine that's the greatest wine that it can be? earth doesn't want to be naked. So when you look in vineyards and it's like all like clean, it's not a natural state. It's a very unnatural state because either you're doing it chemically or you're plowing it too often, and every time you plow the land, you burn the carbon in the land. Many years ago we started with very extensive cover crop programs, and yet you can hardly see this vineyard because I don't think you can make that wine without that kind of attention to details. The issue is the absence of a culture. Tomorrow I can come into this vineyard with people that have no culture in pruning. So when you don't prune, you're cutting the vineyard, right? There's a difference between pruning a vineyard and cutting a vineyard. Simple thing. Perfect shears to cut perfect shoots. Culture. The cleanest, most limited wound. If you cut a shoot on a 90-degree angle, the wound is smaller. If you cut it at the angle of 45, the wound increases in surface area. Small things. Culture. And there's an absence of culture. They drop off 20 guys with 2 pickups in the vineyard and then gaan aan. But what are you busy with? What's your greater goal? Because I want this vineyard to become 150 years old. I want my great-grandchildren, or even if my family doesn't stay involved, I want a young man to come in 150 years and say, yes, this vineyard is unbelievable. So plant material is a non-negotiable. It needs to be virus-free, and your whole program needs to be virus-free. We plant virus-free. We wait longer for our material, sometimes 10 years, to go through the process. But you know, what is 10 years on 100? Most people plant to sell. I always say you must plant what belongs. Make the good wine and it will sell. We've mounted an amazing wine fraternity, you know, and it was incredible, you know, with at one stage with the Research Institute being fully pumping at Nitforby and the Wine and Spirits Board setting up and Kohler starting the KWV and Stellenbosch Farmers Winery, and we saw the great birth of things like the great Chateau Libertases, the great Zunebloem wines, the great Landsrak wines, the great wines of Altu, of Pieter de Toy at the time, the great wines of Meerlist, Giorgio Dallaccia in his days with Mybergs. There are a lot of beautiful things. I love these things, and I drink these wines still today, and I get nostalgia because it was on. You know, we weren't. I think we were closer then to what the global standard was then than now. If this wine were to be produced in Spain or Italy or France, it would be this wouldn't be the price point. But I am living here, enjoying the sunshine here, enjoying the Afrikaans language being spoken here. And you know, you make up your bed where you want to sleep. Yeah, the word tenacity is, you know, you gotta be kind of completely going for it. Building legacy that matters, leaving it in capable hands. Make wine. You know, we produce wine because we like growing plants, and we like to grow this specific plant. It's not like you're trying to compete with them. I just want to be part of it. Yeah, I like to drink wines when they're old. I always say the older you can go, the better. Some wines you see people pour them and it's like the conversation doesn't even take a dip.
Yeah, it's just like there.
No, it's not that. That's not what we want. We want to produce conversation stuff. Like the wine was like, whoa!
What was that?
What the hell is going on? Every 2 years I try and surf a wave that's more challenging than the last one. When you go into the ocean, it's you alone. Your memory can't even go with you. Your thinking, your thoughts, and your troubles or your disturbances, there's no space for it because you require all of your being to survive. And I like that. And I like also the fact that, like you have terroir and wine, the bottom of the ocean also depicts the wave that breaks over it. So all the waves change according to their surfaces. Like wines change according to their soils, waves change according to the ocean floor. It's this liquid art kind of thing, you know, it's just art, but it's liquid. It has no form and no exact function, but it's kind of this, but it's mystical. If you're born in South Africa and you grew up here, I think you can never take somebody out of Africa. You know, Africa is somehow in you. It's kind of a cool idea that the place where you produce your wines all your life, that's where your body goes to rest, and that's kind of where you become compost again, you know, and where you feed the ground in some small philosophical way. So I think you must produce wine where you're going to get buried, and you know, this is where I want to lay my soul to rest, and this is where I want to produce the wines, you know, because I'm still living on that dream of 1994. Maybe we've missed, like Pinotage, another opportunity here. I want to be peaceful in my old age. We have a wonderful nation. I mean, I love this place. Yeah.